Welcome. This is Graphic Organizers as part of the Online Learning with Google Classroom series. And my name is Ellen Cahill, and I'm using Google Hangouts or Google Meet so that you can kind of see me and then also be able to see all of the materials that I have to share with you. So I'm going to click on Present Now and present my entire screen so you can see me and share that. And now that we're doing this, I want to kind of go ahead and show you that, again, I am with WOSU Public Media. Here is my email address. So if you have any questions or suggestions or wonders about how you might use a graphic organizer with a particular lesson plan, please reach out. I would love to kind of help create some things for you if you're interested in that and add to our growing file folder of templates. In this session, we're going to be using Google Drawing and Google Slides here. You can see this, as well as working from our drive so that we can put some things into our Google Classroom. So in this, we want to kind of show how you can use templates and put them as class materials. I am all about giving you lots of templates. And so in the next few days, you have things that you can kind of use really quickly and go ahead and add in. So I've got a file folder here, and here is the bit.ly. We'll also post this information on the website, so you've got that as well. But just in case you're watching this and you want to kind of pull that out, you're going to go ahead and see some of that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you some things that you can use that are ready-made in the template gallery in Slides. I'm also going to look at how you're going to use shapes in blank presentations, and I'll give you lots of examples of that. We're going to look at how you can also insert diagrams when you're in Google Slides and you go to the Insert diagrams. You have a whole list of things to use, and I'll give you some templates on how I use those. And if you know how to use Slides, you know a lot about how you can use Google Drawings. And the major difference is in Slides, you can have multiple pages. In Google Drawings, it's only one page. And if you're looking at putting in pages together that you're going to print and give off to kids, you can set it so that it's the same size as a page, and I'll show you how to do that. So we're also in this session, we'll look at how you can use tables. I think tables are a great way to kind of look at organizing information too. So those are just kind of a brief thing, and in this slide presentation you'll be able to that, but let's go ahead and let me just talk you through how we would go ahead and do this. So if I'm going to start off just from scratch, I'm going to go ahead, open up a tab, I'm going to go to my waffle, I'm going to open up my drive. And what I've done is, you can see I have priorities here, so I have lots of things here, but I have my file folder starred so that I can really find that quickly for us today. So you can see I have some things here, and I'm going to open up my graphic organizers. And the reason why I like to go ahead and open up the file folder where I'm going to be using all of these graphic organizers is this just helps front load some of the organization. So now when I go ahead and I click on New, I know that it is going to show up in this graphic organizer folder. So when I go and click on New, and I go and click on Google Slides, when I go and I look and see from a template, I can see right here that inside this template, I have some education options here. And so some of these already have some great graphic organizers that you can kind of use. And you can see that what this does is that it is a graphic organizer that you can rename. You can go in here and go my trip to, let's say, Nice, France. If this epidemic pandemic gets under control, some of us will still hopefully be traveling. And you can see right here that this is something that you can just kind of go ahead, insert your own little tips and tricks if you want to do this, and kind of share with the students on how to kind of use something for a little class study. So here we go. There's that. There's a lot of others in here. But when I go back to my graphic organizers, you're going to see there it is. It's right there. So we're going to have that right there for you. Some other things that I've got in here is I want to kind of show you that there'll be a lot of opportunities for students to write, but sometimes we need to give them some help. So what I have in here are some, you have this in your folder that you can kind of use. We have some here that you can automatically go ahead and use. And what I've done is I've added in different shapes. And so when I go in and insert a shape, it creates, you have some different options with geometric shapes, arrows, call outs, so bubbles, equation, those kind of things. You have lots of different things that you can go ahead and put in here. And you can see this one is a Google drawing, and it's got the one page, it's checkerboard. And if you want to change your background, you can just go ahead and change that to a color if you would like. And it will automatically go ahead and put that in. And what I like about adding in shapes is that it's automatically a text box. So when you have those, here is one that I have. I'll go back to this. I have a 6-panel. I have something here with drawing for a drawing and story plot. So if students are doing some independent reading, or you post something from maybe ReadWorks or Common Lit, or they're reading a book at home, they can go ahead and insert their name, story title, setting, main characters, and they can go ahead and automatically type in here. Now, if for some instance kids are going to go ahead and get into these and they change it and they go, oh, I lost a box, what they can do is go to File, Version History, and they can go ahead and see a version history so that they can go ahead and take it back to the original one, and they can kind of go ahead and look at this. And we could name it, we could make a copy of it, but there's lots of things in that piece that I think is really kind of handy for students to use as a tool. Another way to use it is always the undo, so they can finally get in there. But if they've already created some work and something, you know, a whoopsie happens, just go to File, Version History, see Version History, and you can kind of see what was happening before that. Another one that I have in here that you can see is that for if you want to kind of do some peer editing or self-editing, I have here what I really like is using the margins on drawings and slides. And so the kids can go ahead and click and say, yes, I've checked this for punctuation. Or if someone is reading this and they go, well, I hate to say this, but the organization really didn't quite follow through, they can kind of go ahead and use that. So I really like this tool to kind of help with either peer conferencing or just reviewing different kinds of work there, so they can check that out. What I'd really like to show you is how I've got this template, which I use for Mystery Doug. And in Mystery Doug, he has a great video on how do we get germs. And so I like using this one. It's a slide presentation where they can put their name. What do you think you know about the topic? What did you learn after watching the video? And kids can go ahead and insert an image. So let's just go ahead and let me go to a Google Classroom. So if I go over back to here, and I am going to look for my Google Classroom. You can see that this has involved many retakes. I'm going to go to my online learning. And here's my classroom that I have. I am going to go ahead and add classwork. And here I go, I have a question, take good care. So if I go here and I look at this, you can see that I have added in a video that has the Mystery Doug. So Mystery Doug they're basically 5-minute videos. You can see there's some previous episodes here. And it's really a great content and really kind of goes in and gives you some great background information. So the kids watch it. And so the first thing that I have here, as you can see, is that I have a discussion. And so I have one student and it's assigned in here. And I can add a comment like, how do you think this helps you not panic about, or maybe let's say help you understand the COVID-19 precautions. I go ahead and I'll send that. So I've added in my own little comment on here, but you're going to go ahead and you can kind of see how this kind of follows in, and students can go ahead and add a comment in that. But what I want to do now is that after they've kind of have had this discussion and they're kind of talking about it, let's go ahead and add an assignment. And so what I can do is I am going to go to classwork. I am going to go ahead to create an assignment. And I'm going to say after graphic organizer, I'm going to add this. And so I'm going to go to my Google Drive. And in recent, you're going to see I have my template. I'm going to add this graphic organizer that I have already made. And I'm going to go ahead and pull down, make a copy for each student. What's really handy that when you go ahead and have this as an assignment and make a copy, it will automatically name, put the kid's name on that. I'm going to say complete. The organizer, after watching the video. And I have it as 100 points. I'm probably going to make this kind of maybe less. Maybe I'm just only going to make that 10 points. I can give this a due date and make it due on the 9th. And I go ahead and assign. And I forgot to do one thing. And I make sure I've got it in the right topic. So it's kind of sitting right here and not in my topic, take good care. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to edit this. And I want this to go in my topic, take good care. And now I go ahead and save it. And you can see now I have this kind of learning pathway already kind of built. So they've got the graphic organizer, and I can go ahead and I want them to do the discussion first. So if I click and hold it, it goes ahead and moves right on up. So there you go. So what I've done there is I've gone ahead and created a graphic organizer and put it in there. Also, too, you can see that when I am in my graphic organizer, I'm going to go ahead and in my star and see my graphic organizers. You can see I have some more on writing, so feel free to look at that. I want to kind of also show you how in Google Slides you have these diagrams, and you can kind of see how in this folder here, I have some different diagrams as graphic organizers for information where, for instance, this is a personal proclamation of independence. So you can kind of switch that. It's a nice little vertical thing. But let me show you how you can get to that. I'm going to go ahead and in my graphic organizers, and this is kind of a slide presentation, shows you all the different tops. I'm going to go ahead and go to my Google Slides. I want to go ahead and open up a blank one. And when I go in, let's go ahead and change the layout just so that I have a blank thing. I'm going to go ahead and insert diagrams. When I go ahead and insert diagrams, you will see that there's a lot of graphic organizers that you can look at. So if I go ahead and choose grid and I look at this, I can change and add in 5 things on my grid. I can change the color here if I want. And if I want it, I just click it. It automatically pops in here. So you can go ahead and add in different information for the kids to fill out. And it's just really kind of a handy. The one that I really, really like is before they had this, making a timeline on a Google Drawing was just absolutely so time intensive. But in here you can see that all of a sudden I've got this, and so that you can have different dates, you can have different events in here that students can kind of pull out. So if you're a history teacher, even if it's kind of the progression in science of, let's say, of a disease, they're studying the progression of COVID-19 throughout the world, you can kind of do these kind of things, and it's just really a brilliant way to bring in graphic organizers. So that will again be in Google Slides, insert, and it is going to be diagrams, and up here you go ahead and you can kind of see that. One last way to kind of also add in a graphic organizer is I go ahead and add in a page. If I go ahead and insert a table. So if I go ahead and insert a table, I come here and I can see how many things I want in there. And you go ahead and you can kind of change this up. And this is how I went ahead and created this, where I had students fill out the table as a graphic organizer to a YouTube video that I went ahead. So if I go ahead and have students back in my classroom and I want them to watch a video, I can go ahead and just create an assignment, add in my material, and I can say YouTube video. I can add in a YouTube video, and I can say American Independence or American Revolution. I can search. This is an oversimplified one, 15 minutes. If I go ahead and look, maybe I want this one, and I go ahead and add it. Now I go ahead and add in from my Google Drive my graphic organizer, and now you've got a graphic organizer to fit in with that. So now I go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and put this in my question of the day. I go ahead and post. And there it goes. So question of the day, you can see I have here my YouTube video. So anyway, so thanks so much. I hope you've got some great ideas. Look for that folder so you can have all of those graphic organizers for you. For the PD code, it's GROORG. And thank you. If you have any questions, again, remember I'm Ellen Cahill, and just go ahead and email me at wosu.org. And anyway, happy organizing. Thanks. Bye-bye.